What's up, guys? Welcome to the Rest Hold Podcast. This is episode 4, brought to you by your boys, Tanner Fred, and me, Zach Foreman. Tanner, say what's up.
What's going on, everybody? Another pretty decent week of wrestling. Here we are to talk about it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, a decent week of wrestling, but...
Really interesting week in wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of rumors flying around.
Yeah. Let's just start with the, I think, the most important news coming out this week. WWE comes to terms with the release of...
Ric Flair!
We have Ric Flair, but also Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, man. Bray Wyatt.
What was your first thoughts when you saw that?
Dude, my initial take, honestly, I was like, maybe the dude doesn't want to work anymore.
You think he's just done wrestling?
No, I that was my initial thought because he took this extended break, and I understand, he was affected by Luke Harper, Brody Lee, but for me, man, I just thought, guess he doesn't want to work.
Yeah, at first I saw this as just maybe WWE's just well, we're giving this guy a lot of money, and he's not really doing much, and while it is because of unfortunate circumstances, it's still a business, and at some point you got to start pulling your weight. I just feels like
it's a guy you don't want to lose.
I think that was the big problem. I think it was one of those things you're just pay him. Yeah. Because you'd rather have him here not doing anything than...
Right.
Because AEW will pay him and wait. They'll be fine with that.
Yeah, and AEW is doing the thing where it's the roster's kind of bloated. Okay, that's fine. You're not passing on Bray Wyatt.
No, you're not.
You're not passing on him.
If you're signing guys like Everrise, who just came over, and, Alistair's good, but not the same caliber, I think. You're definitely not passing on Bray.
And you're signing Andrade, who's good, but can't talk, It's you're not going to pass on Bray Wyatt. The guy's a creative genius.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. There's definitely... I think more will eventually come out as to what actually happened. Has he said anything? I haven't seen anything from him.
No, I haven't seen any statements from him as of today.
So I definitely think more information will come out as time progresses about what actually happened. But yeah, a little weird, a little shocking.
Yeah, for me, it just seems like the cuts so far have been dang, you hate to see him go. Mm-hmm. Dang, I really like that guy. Wow, that guy had so much potential. But now, and Braun was a different story because Braun was they cut him for money, he's getting paid a lot. Yeah. But you get rid of Bray Wyatt, and it's this guy, everything he's done on TV has been gold.
Yeah, this wasn't just someone's we put him in a feud, and then it was main eventing Raw week after week after week with Randy, and now he's just not in the company anymore.
Let's not forget that a year ago today he was champion.
Yeah,
he was champion at SummerSlam.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, he was.
So, to not even be with the company anymore?
Yeah, that feels like something happened, or it was a progression of things happening.
Yeah. I saw a picture, an updated picture on Instagram. He was in better shape again, so he must have been, at least anticipating a comeback.
Yeah, so that is weird then. I don't know. There must have been something going on, or...
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
This is so far... And hopefully there's not many more coming. The biggest loss so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only other one I was considering was Daniel Bryan, just because I understand that they weren't using him, but that is a big, not necessarily.
Yeah. For fans, that's a big loss.
Also,
Bryan Danielson on AEW.
Not even just for fans. You can say the WWE wasn't using him, which is probably true, or at least correctly, however you want to look at it. But that's also not somebody you want to see somewhere else.
No, and I get that, but Daniel Bryan's also on the tail end of his career.
That's true. Yeah.
Bray Wyatt is
kind of in the middle
prime.
Of it. Yeah.
Obviously my favorite Bray Wyatt was Swamp Wyatt family, the Buzzards Bray, and the Fiend. I took to the Fiend too though.
I like the Fiend a lot,
and he was, look, WWE kind of botched it. And I don't know if that's because Bray wanted that mental break or whatever it was, but they kind of botched it with Randy.
Yeah.
But the Fiend was the most believable extra, I guess
he was the most believable
character?
Supernatural character since Taker.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a lot. There's not a whole lot because Vince doesn't really get it the same way that I guess the fans do. Because we were at Mania and there's a lot of people in Fiend attire.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Jackets, masks, lots of people. So this was a surprising one for us, definitely.
Yeah, I do hope he gets work elsewhere because I enjoy watching Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned that he'll get work. I hope he chooses.
Wherever he wants to go,
exactly.
He'll get a contract from someone.
Right.
So I wouldn't be too concerned for him, but It is a big loss to not see him on WWE TV.
Talking about big losses, potential big loss.
Keep it in the rumor mill conversation.
Adam Cole contract set to expire after SummerSlam.
Word is that he has not been offered a new one, which I think is the most shocking thing of him. I think him leaving would be less shocking than the fact that they didn't even offer him anything.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Cole is the golden child. He's
in NXT. Yeah.
On NXT, yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. He talks better than anybody down there.
Mm-hmm.
He wrestles better than anybody down there. NXT is Adam Cole right now.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about big losses. If they let Adam Cole leave...
Yeah, no, you can't.
That's your future young star.
Yeah, because he's not as old as he looks. He's still in his 20s, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, he's still pretty young.
What are you going to do when Adam Cole leaves?
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
Who do you build around then? Because Roman is actually, 36?
He's up there.
So, Roman's probably got 4 or 5 years left, good years, if he wants.
Yeah.
Who knows if he decides to stick around? He doesn't need to.
No.
And Seth is up there.
Yeah, Seth's still going to be doing it for a while, but he's getting...
Right, but him and Roman are... those are your future guys.
They're not on the way up.
Yeah.
They're definitely... Yeah.
This is their stride. You need to build somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cena just had that quote today saying he wishes there was a fountain of youth or something because WWE is relying on these aging stars and it kind of makes the future uncertain. Yeah. And, when John Cena's saying that...
That's probably not a good sign.
It's a terrible sign.
Yeah.
And, not to make it the competition, but you have to look in the rearview mirror and you see AEW. They have older guys, but that's just to build the brand. I mean, they're playing catch up now.
Yeah, because, they have older guys, but just to touch on this further, I don't know when their next pay-per-view is. I'm not too big on following AEW, but, their next pay-per-view isn't Kenny and a 60-year-old. It's going to be Bobby and Goldberg.
Yeah.
It's Kenny and Hangman Page.
Yeah, a few people are invested in and have been invested in with a long-term payoff.
And it's two week guys.
Yeah.
You're not bringing someone in to put money in the seats. Because, that's the thing that WWE does do really well. They'll get you your money. Vince will make his money. Because he'll put people that people want to see in the ring.
Goldberg.
He'll bring Goldberg back. He'll do whatever. And that's why I think, while not a week-to-week guy, Brock was a better option.
Right.
Because while Brock is not a week-to-week guy, you'll see Brock periodically throughout the year. You'll see him.
Yeah.
Where Goldberg, we've seen, this is the first
2
time
weeks ago.
since he fought Drew before Mania.
Yep.
And then the last time we've seen him before that was when he lost to Braun at the previous Mania. So,
and killed Undertaker.
And did kill, that was before, but he did kill Undertaker as well.
But
that's not helping you. And I think, no, go ahead.
And it's not to, take a crap on Goldberg.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Goldberg fan, whatever. Not necessarily now, but he cut a decent promo on Monday that
he did all right.
Kind of got us back invested. But I'm not here to watch an event necessarily. If I wanted to watch Goldberg, I have Peacock.
Yeah.
I want the story to progress a little bit. And who knows? Maybe they throw a monkey wrench in. Maybe Goldberg is dominating Lashley and Big E cashes in. Who knows? But right now, I don't care about the title match.
No, and especially just because, you can't give it to Goldberg. You cannot do that.
No, you would say that, right?
Me thinking you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You can't have Goldberg be your champion again. It worked the one time because you were not yet in COVID, but it was 2 months.
Yeah.
So Goldberg can be on TV for 2 months, and then whatever you build towards.
And you could pump in the crowd.
Build towards him and Roman, you were fine.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Braun just for medical reasons. But anyway, that works. You can't have it when you have this tour going on now, where you need your champion on TV.
And Goldberg's not traveling.
He's not. There's no shot he's traveling.
Otherwise, you're going to pay him an astronomical amount of appearances.
And he's not good enough to do that anymore.
No.
Don't get me wrong. If this wasn't for the belt, do Bobby and Goldberg, whatever.
My level of interest wouldn't even change. It would be the same.
But at the same point, it's you're not. It's not like you're banking your future on this.
Yeah.
Because I understand, Bobby's not the future either. Bobby's getting up there in age as well. Yeah. But when you talk about your title, that is your future. That's what's progressing you into the future of the company. Yeah. So if you want to do Bobby and Goldberg, that's fine. But just have it over here and then worry about this thing.
And the next person you put over Bobby should be to build a megastar. Because Bobby is a dominant champion.
Yeah.
And, you know,
because
just,
Bobby's, it's weird because I think Bobby is more dominant than Roman is, but in a
this,
very different way.
Mm-hmm.
But
where he's like physically imposing,
Yeah.
like when he beats people, you're like, yeah, he's beating people
because he's like the heel without. I mean, we talked about this a little
without
bit
the
last
heel
week.
tactics.
Without the heel tactics,
Yeah.
he's just I'm gonna beat the crap.
He's
out
just angry. He's just
Yeah.
beating people
yeah,
up.
he's just just beating you.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, going back to you can't put the title on Goldberg, you know, by way of China, let me tie this in. Ric Flair retires, bad terms, whatever you say, he asked for his release. Does this, you know, imply a little bit more that Cena might be winning and breaking the record?
I don't think so. Because I saw a quote from Flair that was more of that. He said he wasn't mad with WWE, just they didn't see eye to eye on certain things. So, I mean, maybe that's Flair doesn't want anyone to break the record or feels somebody else should be.
Like a Randy Orton?
I think it should have been Randy. I think it should be Randy still. Just because.
Yeah. The thing is, for me, man, what don't you see eye to eye on, Rick? Like,
It has to be that.
it's that
it
or
has
it's
to be
Charlotte. And, like,
But it can't be Charlotte because Charlotte's.
yeah, I get it, right? Charlotte's always in the main event, but her titles are kind of like a joke at this point.
That is true.
Like, she hasn't been a dominant champion. She's
Yeah, no.
a dominant competitor. She's the
Yeah.
best in the women's division, but she's not a dominant champion.
That's true. And I don't know because I feel like that's not really has to do with Rick though. Well, it does, but it doesn't.
Right.
Like,
It's,
Charlotte's a big girl. Like she can
yeah,
handle
if she
herself
was
kind of
mad,
thing.
I'm sure she'd speak up.
If she'd mad, she'd leave
Yeah.
and go to
anywhere.
AEW with Andrade.
Go anywhere.
Literally anywhere she wants.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's what it is. I think it was either that Rick wanted to be involved in something and they were like, no,
Yeah.
or it has to do with Cena.
I mean, I guess let's get to it then, because Cena is now facing Roman Reigns at SummerSlam officially.
Yeah.
Official.
I mean, we knew it was coming.
But the way they did it,
Really poor.
like,
It's really poor.
I don't need you to be based in reality, right?
Yeah.
But you can only suspend, you know, the disbelief for so long.
Mm-hmm.
The contract is being signed. It's Finn Balor. Finn is supposed to sign that, whatever. Baron Corbin comes out, interferes. Cena just comes in, hijacks it, and signs it. Look, I get it. You want Cena on TV as much as possible right now.
Yeah.
You want Cena versus Roman. That's fine. This could have been extended one more week. You could have had Finn and Baron Corbin do whatever they were doing, be preoccupied, and then have Cena sign a different contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It seemed unnecessarily sloppy to me.
I also just feel like I understand because, well, one, you have to be a little bit transparent with yourself as like the writing team and understand that we all know Cena's fighting Roman at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like before all this happened, we know we're not idiots. We understand you didn't bring Cena back to watch.
Yep.
So like he's fighting Roman at SummerSlam. Just do Finn and Roman next week.
Yeah, could have just done it. Just could have done it on
Just do
TV.
it ahead of time. That's fine.
And that would have. You talk about getting SmackDown viewers. That would have
That
got
would
a
have got
ton of
SmackDown
viewers.
a ton of viewers. You could even do the Corbin thing then.
Yeah, could have.
To let Corbin interfere.
You could have had Finn look real good. Had Corbin interfere.
There you go.
That's it.
And then, I don't know, bring Cena out after and be like,
Yeah.
all right, enough of this crap.
Yeah.
Like, let's get to it. And there you go.
Exactly.
Like, that's fine.
And you have Adam Pearce and Sonya making matches left and right. If that would have happened, you could have said, well, now Roman needs a new competitor.
There you go.
Yeah,
You're
boom.
in. Yeah, right there. Also, like, Pat McAfee talked about this a little bit, about, like, I understand, again, like we talked about, this is suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a contract's a contract.
Contract's a contract.
Like, I don't care what
That's-
world you're in.
You don't
If
just.
it says Finn Balor
Yeah.
and somebody writes something that's not Finn Balor,
It's
that
not-
contract
yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, like, I think
That's-
them kind of, like, insulting the intelligence of the fans a little bit
Yeah.
there was kind of a
Right.
turn off for me a little bit. But,
That's what I'm saying. It was unnecessarily sloppy. It just
Yeah.
didn't need to be that way.
Mhm.
I'm happy it is. I'm happy it is Cena and
yeah,
Roman
of course,
at
of course.
SummerSlam.
That is the match everybody
I
wants.
didn't
but-
want it to be a triple threat, although
Oh, no,
we're not actually
no,
out
no,
of the
no.
clear yet.
Yeah, we are. I think we are.
I hope so.
I think we're well out of the clear. I think we're going to get Finn and Corbin for a little bit, and then we might move on to if Cena loses, or even if he wins.
Finn.
Because Roman kind of plugged that a little bit, too, about,
Yeah.
did you hear what he said about you? Like, you
Yeah.
know, like,
You're gonna accept that?
you're going to accept
He
what he
said
just
you're not
talked,
as much
how he
mad?
just talked about you?
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, I think no matter who wins, I mean, but here's the thing, too. We could always do, not Cena, sorry, Finn and Seth again first. Because that's, again, that's one of the things where, like, yeah, you know, you want Seth either in the title picture. But the story's there.
Yeah, but I think you gotta get there. You know what I mean? I know you could just plug it in, and WWE is known to do so. But like, if you're gonna get there, I think the stakes need to be higher. So wasn't that the first Universal title ever?
Yeah,
it was
Finn won the first belt ever.
So if you're gonna do that, I think the belt needs to be back involved.
I don't know, because I think the story is better if the belt's not involved, personally. Because I think the story is, Finn beats Corbin, Seth beats Edge. Well, Seth is like, all right, now I'm next man up. And Finn's like, wait.
Yeah.
I never lost this. Like, I beat you for this.
I mean, that definitely makes sense, especially with the way Seth is being. Seth, jumping Edge on SmackDown. If I can't be Universal Champion, nobody can.
Yeah.
I'm the rightful heir. Like, okay, so there you go. So then Finn is like, well, I was signing. It's mine. And then we have
last
another
time we did this,
Yeah.
I beat you.
Yeah.
To get this.
Yeah.
So I don't watch the business watches me.
Yeah, his best promo ever. Yeah.
That really was a fire promo.
That was great on NXT. Yeah, I guess.
Guy puts on a mask and he's the next best Sting.
Yeah. I'm actually pumped for it, man. Now that you say that, a little, future creative writing.
That'd be cool.
That'd be good. I would love to see Seth and Finn run it back too.
No, and that'd be like I don't know what pay-per-view that would be. What September is now because they moved Hell in a Cell.
Well, no, you skip September because.
No, you'll do September.
No, I'm not saying you skip. Like, no, you don't make Finn and Seth September.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do it at the pay-per-view.
It
the
would
next
be
one.
next, but
and then whatever October is going to be is what you do.
Because that would be Hell in a Cell. I would love to see that.
But it's not Hell in a Cell. They just did Hell in a Cell. October used to be Hell in a Cell, but now May was Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, you're so right. I'm sitting here.
So I don't know what it's gonna be.
And Survivor Series is November.
So, and then we get to TLC.
So that's why I kind of think Roman is still champ come November, or at least champ again come November.
Well,
so I think the Bloodline is the logical Survivor Series.
There's not enough people.
You can make enough people.
Yeah, but I don't like that. Yeah. You don't want to. The Bloodline's good.
You don't want
the way
to ruin
it is. Don't force people into it.
Yeah.
Like the only people that even make sense is like Naomi, maybe Tamina.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're plug the Olympics a little bit. That guy.
Bringing that guy.
Gable Steveson. That Paul Heyman is huge on.
I mean. Listen,
I mean, plugging them right into the bloodline.
That's
is a lot.
And then throwing in a classic Survivor Series match.
A lot of pressure, but I'm just saying, maybe the future for the bloodline.
I mean, yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know, but again, who you putting me up against? That's really the Hurt Business. That's where the problem becomes. I think they'll do their usual crap. Where
Raw versus SmackDown, where nobody cares.
Here's the thing, though. I don't like the Raw vs. SmackDown stuff, but Bobby vs. Roman would be a monster of a match.
I think Bobby vs. Roman would be, I don't know if it would be better than Drew vs. Roman was.
It wouldn't be. It would be very different.
It would be physical.
Real
physical.
Yeah, it would be really, really good, though.
Yeah, that's true. Spear and spear again.
Yeah, I'd be real in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be cool to see.
Too bad Bobby won't make it.
The problem is the rest of the matches are just terrible in that card every time.
Yeah,
except for the one with the NXT. That was a really good card.
Yeah,
But
a few years back.
Shout out to Roman for plugging NXT. And then Pat being like 8:00 p.m. Tuesday nights USA.
Yeah, Pat. He's great on the mic.
Yeah,
man. Pat just gets
Pat was really good this Friday. There was another thing he said. Oh, you're talking about like he's like, I've been to 0 law schools, Michael, but I don't think you could sign on a contract. Like, Pat was really good this Friday.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man, Sasha Banks is back.
I don't want to be like mean to anybody here that thought that Sasha was going to come back as a face.
Yeah.
But that was never happening.
Never happened.
That was, and that, like, I appreciate Fox Instagram, like, trying to put over how shocking this heel turn was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys, come on, this was a layup.
In fact, I was like insulted that they even tried to bring her back as a face at first.
This was an absolute layup.
For the 10 seconds that she was like on Bianca's side, I was like, this makes no sense. Why? This is not her character. She would be so mad.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, no. Sasha the person
is actually mad.
Would actually be mad.
She's on the internet talking about I deserve better.
Exactly. So like, this was never gonna be a friendly type of thing.
Never a doubt. So
they already did that. It didn't work. That's how we got to Mania.
Yeah.
Like,
and
so
I'm assuming they just couldn't find whoever was next for SummerSlam. So
I think it was Sasha the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because like, if you think about it, they really dragged Carmella.
Yeah.
They dragged Carmella, so I think they were getting her to SummerSlam.
Yeah. Maybe. I guess that was it.
Because I think it was supposed to be Bayley until this week,
And
until last week.
Yeah, and then she got hurt.
But then she got hurt, so they had to plug in Carmella. So.
Well, wasn't Bayley supposed to be the match before, the Money in the Bank match, right? Wasn't she?
But yeah, that was the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, so I guess they probably would have dragged that out again.
Or even just, again, plug in, like, Carmella for the week.
Yeah.
Also, really, this is kind of off topic, but kind of related. Really upset that, like, Liv is just off TV now.
Again.
After Money in the Bank.
Yeah, what do they do?
Because, like, she was on fire.
Yep.
Like, she had a really good match, and now she's just not there anymore, which kind of sucks.
No.
And, I mean, it was cool to see Zelina, like, in the title picture, air quotes.
But Zelina's gone, too.
Yeah, she's not important anymore.
I just
for
don't
the title
get it.
picture. I don't...
And it's a 2-hour show. I know, you gotta get everybody on TV. But you gotta build the next feuds.
And I think this is something we talk about with just, like, spots and matches and other stuff as well. Sorry. How many times are you going to go to the well?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it worked good once. Don't just keep giving it to us.
Right.
The whole, like, novelty of it is, like, if it's good once, put that in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we could do it again. Not the next major pay-per-view. Because it's not going to be as good. It just isn't going to be as good as the first time. It never will be. I'm sorry. It rarely is. And the way you're setting up now is just not going to be the same.
A lot of the time, it's because the hype isn't there again.
Yeah.
So, like, the hype, it leads into the match. Like, a match is so good, and Bianca and Sasha, they put on a great match at Mania. But part of it was so good because you believe that they, like, hated each other. That they were going to put on a phenomenal match and really get after it. I mean, even though I personally believe the outcome was predictable, it just felt better.
Yeah, I definitely thought there was no shot Bianca was losing in Mania.
Yeah.
Like, she was too hot at the time to have her lose. But yeah, like, it's the build-up that's I think most of the time the build-up is more important than the match.
Yeah, and I guess, just to stay on the point of going to the well one too many times, the Intercontinental Championship is going to be just this cluster of 6 guys.
It's an absolute
every
mess.
week.
Yeah, it's
going to be them every week. It's Shinsuke, Big E, Cesaro, the Dirty Dogs, and Apollo.
It's a shame too, because like that really is a good belt.
It's
a really like prestigious belt in the company.
It's supposed to be like the
other than like the WWE
belt.
title belt, like the IC belt's what you want to have.
Exactly, you're supposed to be like the worker, the guy that they can rely on.
Yeah, so it's kind of a shame that this is what it's devolved into, and that's no disrespect to anybody in the feud. It's really just a little bit above them.
They have to give it the love that they give the other titles.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is? It's even more a shame because Apollo was hitting his stride. Like Apollo was
doing
good.
well. I think Aziz kind of
I don't like
a little bit.
I don't like Aziz.
I feel like it was cool at first, like now he's got this guy with him.
Yeah.
And then I think the problem was that AJ and Omos on the other side were doing a very similar thing, and they were just better at it.
So much better.
So that it was kind of like,
Styles.
well, now you're directly comparing these two things, like just naturally.
Yeah.
So you're seeing it, and they're like, well, this is better. So like this clearly isn't as good, which kind of sucked because Apollo. I like Apollo. I think he's good.
Yeah.
I thought the character change was a little out of nowhere.
But it's fine. He's making it work.
Yeah, no, it definitely is working. But like in the ring, I think he's great.
Yeah, and not to sound like, an AEW fanboy, because I'm not by any means. I like barely watch it, but they have faction after faction after faction after faction over there, and they kind of make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There's what, like 4 that I can think of?
There's like a million now, dude. Like everybody.
No, I'm saying like 4 that are at least like 4 people plus.
Yeah.
What, the Elite?
Mm-hmm.
Dark Order, and then Pinnacle and Inner Circle.
And now Moxley.
Yeah, whatever that is. But like 4 named profile
and they make
factions.
it work.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is there's no need to just like quit on it because Friday is guess what? It's the end of the week. People hardly even remember Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
And like AJ and Omos are quote, a tag team where Apollo and Aziz, it's kind of like a bodyguard. So I think it could work. They just kind of got lazy with it and gave up.
I think they saw that it wasn't catching fire the same way Omos was.
The problem is I think Omos is far better
than they expected,
and Aziz is far worse.
That's true.
This is like his 3rd attempt at it.
I think they thought it was going to be like kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
And it wasn't at all.
No.
So, I actually see that being an issue for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else really big that happened on SmackDown.
Other than Seth. But we kind of touched on that already. They didn't really progress the feud that much other than Seth giving clear motives.
Seth got the upper hand. It's 50-50 going into the pay-per-view. That's how it always is.
And I think we already knew like what the motives were for Seth, but now at least they're laid out on the table.
Yeah, a little clearer, even though I mean, he
pretty
said
clear.
it. He said it at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty clear. But yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Seth
I guess
Edge.
let's move on to Raw.
Man.
I'm gonna say it. Raw at this point, it's almost unwatchable.
It's really hard
It
to
is
watch
insufferable.
Raw. Yeah, it's really,
and
really bad.
the problem for me is, it is a repeat episode of the week before every time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you get one or two different matches. Never good, by the way.
Never
One or
good,
two
never
different
good.
matches, never good. And then it's just 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'll jump right to it. This week with Keith Lee and Karrion Kross again.
Yeah.
First of all, no need to have the match again.
Nope, not at
No
all.
need to revisit it. And then you get neither of them anywhere.
No, it was actually probably bad for both of them.
It's bad for both of them. Sure, Keith Lee's back in the win column against
Who cares?
against Karrion Kross, who he just lost to. So, a redemption. And then on the other hand, Karrion Kross, you're back in the loss column against a guy you just beat. You're 1-2 on the main roster.
1-2 on Raw. Yeah.
Like, it's a terrible booking decision. It's literally just to get the guys on TV. That's not how you keep people interested in the feud.
No, it's not at all. And I don't know if this is going to be like a feud per se. I guess it kind of has to be at this point. But it's cool with Keith. He got a win.
Mhm.
He's not winning the feud.
No.
I
He's
hope not.
No, he's not.
He can't.
No, they're just gonna fill in Keith Lee now as what Jeff Hardy was supposed to be, and
You
that's
think?
end up losing the
Yeah,
big one.
I guess that's true.
And like, it's unfortunate for Keith Lee because, me personally, you could have got Keith Lee back over by having him beat somebody else. Like, if you wanted him back in the win column, you have plenty of guys back there on the roster who could come out, who don't need to win, who you've never seen, like, or you haven't seen in months, that could come out and lose, and people would be like, oh, nice, Keith Lee's back.
You could have had him do like a little like redemption tour.
Yeah.
Like,
or if you want, you're making Keith Lee lose. He hasn't been on TV. Make him do an angle where do I still have it? Do I still have it?
he is
Am I
getting up
still
there.
good?
He is up there in age. That's
Like-
what I'm saying. Do like a little redemption tour.
Yeah.
Like, do like an open challenge every week. Like,
Yeah, like
bring people out.
build Keith Lee back up. Don't just rehash the match because guess what? Next week, I promise you, Karrion Kross is beating Keith Lee.
100%. 100% beating Keith Lee.
It's just and then you know what? It goes all the way to the title picture because I was just saying before we started recording, it's actually the same in the women's title match.
Yes.
It's the exact same.
Yes.
Charlotte comes out, gets cashed in on, so that's Nikki's win.
That's one.
Next week, Nikki comes out. Charlotte says, "No, you didn't deserve it. Fight me one-on-one." Charlotte wins. Nikki comes back. "Oh, I almost beat you. Let's wrestle again this week." And sure, good match, no DQ or whatever it was, no holds barred. It was good.
Yeah.
Nikki wins. So we're just going back and forth into the pay-per-view. Maybe next week they throw Rhea in?
That's what I was about to say
Like-
too. Like, we're forgetting that Ray is in this feud.
Yeah.
For what reason, I don't know. No
Yeah.
offense to her again, but like,
That's their fault.
there's really no reason for her to be in the feud.
Except
other
that
than
Charlotte's not taking the pin this time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I think that's what it is.
Whoever loses, Charlotte's not getting pinned.
Yes, I think that's what it is, just to keep Charlotte. But now I don't know because she just lost.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Maybe it's to keep Nikki from getting a pin,
Yeah, and they'll
Which
do
I
the
think would be-
almost everything.
unless you do Charlotte beats Rhea again,
Mhm.
and then Nikki's like, well, I almost didn't lose and didn't get pinned, kind of thing.
So we do this whole thing a third time.
Yes.
We could run through the whole thing again.
Yes.
And we'll get to Survivor Series, and then we'll get to Royal Rumble, and then guess what? Nikki will win the Royal Rumble, and she'll do it again.
God.
Like, Raw is bad.
Yeah, Raw is bad.
Raw
And
is bad.
Let's just jump really far ahead for
Yeah.
one weird second, just because you brought it up.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. Just that, right now, who wins the Royal Rumble, men's and women's? If you had to pick right now.
If I had to pick today,
Yeah, just because, I don't know, we talked about it. Let's just see where our head's at.
looking ahead to the future, I think you have two women that could win. I think Naomi for some reasons, and I think Toni Storm right
Okay.
now. Just as
She wasn't on TV either.
I
Forgot
know,
about
but they did this debut, so maybe they have something.
Mhm.
And then for men, just as of today, without getting too far ahead again, probably Finn or Seth.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And I'm sure neither of those will be right.
No, I
sure,
mean,
but-
it also depends on where we are.
'cause I'm just looking
in
at it,
WWE by then.
And WWE is just, the last few have been guys who are already at the top, staying at the top.
Yeah, pretty much, because Edge didn't need to win. The
Yeah.
only Bianca they did right. That was,
But-
I think, the first one they got right in a while.
Yeah, but let's look at that women's division. Bianca's kind of at the top going into there. Like, she was riding a heater going into the Royal Rumble, no?
Yeah, but I mean, so was Drew. But But
Drew was the top, staying at the top.
But at the same time, Drew was the pick.
Yeah.
Because I understand, like, the Rumble is about, like... But, I mean, if you really go back and look, classically, the Rumble has just been who's hot.
Yeah.
When Randy won in 2009, when Cena came back.
Yeah.
Like, it's really... When Edge came back and won, not this past one, but the other time when he beat Jericho. And, like, that's kind of how it's historically been. Money in the Bank, I feel like, is more out of nowhere kind of thing.
Pick a guy that you want,
Because Money in the Bank, I don't think they really care about as much.
Because you can write that in later.
Also, you would just be like, oh, yeah, he wins, and then he lost.
Yeah, that's it. He lost.
And then he loses the next week or the next pay-per-view. And there it is, and then you're over. Where Royal Rumble is, you had this precedent of, you are now the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, you got to be a guy.
So they're not going to put somebody like, no disrespect, I love this guy. They're not going to have Ricochet win the Royal Rumble, no matter how good he is right now. Like, as a character, he's not going to be there. He could win a Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah.
But he's not going to win the Rumble.
And that's exactly it, because you have to have somebody that's going to hold your attention for 3 months to get you to
exactly.
WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And, again, Ricochet, talking about Ricochet, good character, happy for him. I like what they're doing with Sheamus again. But there's no way a guy like that keeps your interest for 3 months.
No, not at all.
Not because you got to do mic work.
Yeah.
That's it.
And his mic work is a little lacking, a little lackluster. But, no.
Yeah, so I guess, super far ahead booking. Why not?
Yeah, there
Finn
it is.
or Seth and Naomi and Tony.
We'll revisit.
Yeah. We'll see how accurate I was in 4 months.
But going back to Raw, so we jumped ahead there a little bit.
Yeah.
I just don't get the Goldberg thing. I know we touched on it at the beginning of the episode, but, like...
I mean...
It's
like,
so...
Like
that's all I have. That's the only way I can describe it. Is so eh.
My levels of interest won't change at all. Like I said, if there was a title or no title. But all I'm saying is he did the best he could. He cut a decent enough promo to try and build the match. He sounded good on the mic. He looks better now than he looked last time with Drew, I guess, getting in better shape. So I don't know. The match, sure, it'll be physical. It'll be fun to watch two big guys just beat each other up.
I just think the problem is he's so obviously past his prime.
Oh, so bad.
So obviously past his prime. And I feel bad for Bobby at this point, honestly, where Roman has been having, since he won the belt, who is he feuded with? The Fiend, kind of.
Kevin Owens,
Braun, Edge.
Yep.
And now John Cena.
Sprinkle in a little bit of Seth.
A little bit of, hints of Seth.
Yep.
And then Jay.
Yep.
And they've all been all
Jay guys isn't that can work.
Yeah, and while Jay isn't a high-profile feud, especially at the time.
He got elevated by facing Roman.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for the story. Bobby, they're kind of just throwing people at him. And I understand, the Kofi thing. The Kofi thing would have been so much better if it moved into Brock. Because it would have made so much more sense, just, in terms of the continuity of it. But Bobby did Drew, which was good. And then you got him Kofi, which served a purpose. And you're kind of just throwing Goldberg to him.
And that is a testament to how bad Raw is.
Yeah.
Because if it's not Goldberg, who is it?
No one. I
Exactly.
cannot think of a single person.
It's no one. The answer is no one. Because your best guys, and this is, no offense, they need to do a job. They're tied up in the tag division. You're not pulling Randy out. Where is he? I don't even know.
Yeah, we said.
And you're not pulling out AJ Styles.
No, you're not.
So your best guys are in the tag division. You haven't done anything to build up a star.
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley is getting thrown Goldberg.
Yeah.
And Bobby will make it work, I'm sure. I like Bobby. The work Bobby's been doing lately is great.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll find a way to make it work. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I do love Bobby. I love watching Bobby wrestle. He's great. And it is just a shame. Just I don't care about Goldberg.
And you know what else? The other big guy you have on Raw, you're not revisiting that. It's Drew.
Yeah, no, you can't revisit.
You're going to do that again.
The draft can't come soon enough.
For
I
Raw.
think is basically
the draft can't come soon enough for Raw. And by that I mean fire everybody and draft new writers. Because the talent's there. They just don't use it.
Yes, I agree with you. The talent is there. And I guess I had to follow up this question. And is it maybe a bigger WWE issue? Because if you were to draft, who are you taking from SmackDown to fight Bobby? Seth?
Big E, Kevin Owens.
Big E, I guess. Okay, Kevin Owens, sure.
So that's the thing is the mid-card guys on SmackDown could easily.
Let me cut you off there. Yeah. There is no mid card. Is the problem?
Oh yeah.
The mid card doesn't exist.
So that's true.
That's the real problem. Is that they're cutting all these guys, like literally getting rid of all these guys from the company.
Yeah.
And you're getting rid of your mid card.
Yeah.
Like you
Andrade?
have your main event.
Where's Buddy Murphy?
And then you have a bunch of stuff that changes week to week.
Where's Aleister Black? These are guys that fill in the roster that you need.
Sure. Like maybe they're not all your title kind of guy, but they'll give you a good title match. Like they're your mid card guys that you need to have.
You know, I'm just thinking about it. Instead of tying them up with 50-50 booking, you had Keith Lee come out. You had him lose to Bobby. Why don't you just do a story where he builds up to, I think I could beat Bobby Lashley?
There it is.
Like, I saw what you had. I wasn't on my best day. Let's do it. Yeah. And that's it. There's a guy, at least buys you some time.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have Bobby wrestle until the feud, until the match.
You don't even have to have that be the next feud.
No, it could be a one pay-per-view down.
The problem is, right now, there should be... That's the thing. Like, Bobby should have fought Keith before SummerSlam. I understand with the live audience and everything, that's not really how it works. But have that... Not before SummerSlam, sorry. Before Money in the Bank. And then you have Keith be like, I almost had him, and I hadn't wrestled in a year. Yeah. Like, I could beat this guy. And then you have him work his way there. Yeah. And now you have something for SummerSlam. Now, maybe I mean, personally, Bobby and Keith isn't the feud I want to see at SummerSlam.
But it's just an example.
It's there. Yeah. Like, you have something there, and it's organic. It's not just like, oh, yeah, this guy's back, and now he's fighting Bobby.
And that's the thing, is there's nothing organic about Raw.
No, not at all. It's terrible.
But, like, just to, reiterate that point a little bit about the mid-card. So, technically, Intercontinental's mid-card, right?
Yeah.
But all of those guys have bump up to the main slot potential. Maybe outside of Shinsuke. Maybe.
No, I think Shinsuke does too.
Because I think he has it.
For sure.
I think he has it, but you need him to be with Rick Boogs.
I don't even think you needed him to be with Rick Boogs. I think now that he's with Rick Boogs, you can't pull Boogs off him.
Right.
But I don't think he needed him.
Yeah, I think the reason he never won against AJ is because they don't trust his mic work. So I think with Boogs, it gives him at least a chance. Mm-hmm. But all those guys on SmackDown, they have the potential to bump up. We've seen Kevin Owens as champion. Mm-hmm. Like, Big E is Money in the Bank. He's gonna be champion.
And I feel like even before he won, he was on a crash course for a championship at some point here.
And then, like,
either of the Dirty Dogs could be a champion. Like, Dave Ziggler's a former champion.
Been a champion.
Bobby Roode's a former champion outside of WWE, but like, he's been there. Like, he knows how to carry a company like that.
Honestly, the only one that can't, and no offense to him, is Apollo. He's the only one I can't.
He's not ready yet, I think, and that's kind of not his fault.
Yeah,
because they threw him the Intercontinental title on him, which was great. I thought it was a really good idea for him, and then you kind of he feuded with Big E for a little bit, and you kind of threw him on the wayside.
Yeah,
he fought Kevin Owens and basically lost until Aziz stepped in. But I don't know. They just don't build anything. They don't help their guys at all.
I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse too much, so I'll just leave it at this. You have guys on Raw that could have been champions, like I said, tied up in the tag division. But the feud for the United States title also has guys that could have done it. Sheamus could have been a guy.
Oh, yeah.
But you need Sheamus to have that belt because you need the mid-card belt to mean something.
I think him passing it off soon will be great. And then I think you could bring him up to Bob.
Yeah.
Like, I think him passing it off to Ricochet or Priest would be really good.
I mean, you had Miz, who was a champion, but Miz and Bobby did the thing already, so we're not going there again.
I think the biggest problem, and maybe this is a bigger problem with wrestling as a whole, and not just WWE, is you don't have the same star power you did even like 5-6 years ago. Like, yeah, Roman's great. Roman's the guy.
But that's it.
Roman's not John Cena. Roman's not The Rock. Roman's not Stone Cold. Roman's not even Shawn Michaels. That kind of star power. No. Where you can walk down the street and be like, Shawn Michaels, and be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You can walk down the street and be like, Roman Reigns, and people be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the bigger issue.
And Cena. Cena's the last good example, I think. Like, Cena goes out, everybody knows John Cena. John Cena is pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have that.
Even before he was doing movies, he was pop culture.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know John Cena. And now, you're right, I don't know who that guy is.
No. I really can't think of any of them. There's really nobody. And I think this also calls back to something you and I have talked about a few times, with kind of like the old pay-per-views and how things used to be done, is like you could look at an old pay-per-view card, and 9 out of 10 times the title match wasn't even the best match on the card.
Yep.
Just because you had so much other good stuff going on.
So much other talent. So many other good feuds where people were like, you watch those vignettes for like the promo videos, the fight packages that they put together, they were every match hype. Every match, a real feud.
Yeah.
And today, what is it? Like, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
let's wrestle.
This is just a callback to our list last week when I talked about Jericho and Shawn Michaels and that feud when he put him through the TV and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you who was champion at the time. I have no idea who was champion at the time. And that kind of just speaks to, like, how well they were doing stuff outside of the title picture.
I mean, let's talk about the SummerSlam, since SummerSlam's coming up. Shawn Michaels' comeback match with Triple H, that feud, who is champion? I mean, like, that's a bad example because that is a great SummerSlam, you know, Rock and Brock and all that.
Yeah,
but, like, that's the kind of feuds I'm talking about. And, like, you're not always going to have a Triple H and a Shawn Michaels.
No, of course not.
But you need to have something to fill the card that has substance, that matters. And Raw doesn't even have substance at the top.
No.
Let alone the middle.
Yeah.
The title pictures mean nothing.
The only, like, I think the only good side feud going on right now is Seth and Edge.
Okay, yeah. Though and I just, you know, personal bias, I guess, for the Raw tag is interesting to me.
But that's a title. That's what I'm saying. I know it's still a title feud.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's the issue. I think actually NXT does a really, really good job of this, of making non-title feuds really matter. And I think the perfect example right now is Cole and O'Reilly.
Yeah. A blood feud.
Yeah, like
the Brotherhood split up.
I would not be surprised if that main event. It's not going to because it's going to be Cross and Joe. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be shocked if that was the main event because of like how well they've built this feud. It was the main event for the Bash, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It main evented, yeah.
So like that's the kind of stuff we're talking about where like they have these side feuds that really mean something.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a really good tie-in to get into NXT, actually, because if we stay on Raw any longer, it's just going to be a full hour of us bashing Raw.
Raw's not good.
I would love to come back next week and Raw be phenomenal, me eat crow and say Raw is a great wrestling show. But for the last 3 weeks...
Wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah. For the last 3 weeks, it's been god-awful.
Yeah,
and, you know, before that, it's just been regular awful.
Yeah.
So,
so
we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I don't know. My hope for Raw is, like, in the tubes, so...
At this point, like, the bar can't be lower,
no,
so we'll see what happens.
That's literally it.
You can only go up.
The bar is so low that all you have to do is have entertaining matches.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
you can't even do that.
Yeah, that's really all it is.
Look, I start Raw a little bit on a delay, and I'm always live by the time it finishes.
Yep.
Like, I'll start at 9:30, 9:45. One, there's a ton of commercials.
Yeah, it's really a lot of commercials.
And then two, there's so many skippable segments.
Yeah, it's tough.
So many.
All right,
so,
let's move on to
we'll be here all night.
Yeah.
But talking about Cole, O'Reilly, they're facing off next week, so not a lot of activity from either of them.
No, they're just here.
But other members of the Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Bobby and Roddy. Yeah, they had a good match.
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Still didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh, look, I don't care that they went with they have unfinished business. They didn't.
They
were the only two that got along.
There was no unfinished. There was no business at all.
Yeah, but they put on a good match.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
You know what? It's a testament to what we were saying. That is a filler match on the card to build towards something bigger for Roddy to take Kushida's Cruiserweight Championship. And they made me invested in it.
Yes.
I cared about it. I knew they didn't actually, like, the story didn't make sense, but
I was still invested to watch the match.
Exactly.
I still cared about the match.
Exactly.
And I think, just to jump ahead a little bit in this, going to a title picture, but when Dakota turned on Raquel, I really didn't love it. And I didn't really care the same way I do about other matches on NXT typically. Just because it's like, oh, this is like I built you up and blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah. Been done before.
But here's the thing that Dakota did really well. They kind of spun it for me. Is she brought up the tag titles.
Yeah.
And that was something I hadn't really considered.
Yeah.
But she was like, you know, we did this thing together. We won the tag titles together, and then we lost. And then you just moved on.
Yeah.
You didn't care that I didn't have a belt anymore.
Yep.
And, like, that's... Even that tiny part of that 3-minute promo, that 15 seconds, now I'm invested in this match. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Like, now we have a real reason other than, like, I just want the belt.
Right. Obviously, you need the kick in the face to start the feud. But the promo package that Dakota put together did more for that feud than anything on Raw.
Absolutely. And I think that has done more for my interest in the feud than anything they will do up until TakeOver. There's a very good chance that nothing they do until TakeOver will make me more interested than that little part of the promo.
What is there, 1 week or
2 weeks?
2 weeks of NXT left? If I'm NXT, which, you know, I'm not creative.
No, you're not?
No, believe it or not, that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's not creative.
I have Raquel cut a similar promo, and I don't have either of them on TV until the week after, just for your quote-unquote contract signing. And I just have them.
Oh, you just have her do like a vignette?
Yeah.
You didn't have her on TV until next week?
Yep.
I'm with that. I like that a lot, too.
Promo package from Raquel, no Dakota, meet up for the contract signing.
I like that.
Right into the paper.
Because you do have a lot to do. Because you can make that work, too, because you have a lot to do in the meantime with other stuff.
A ton of other things going on, which is just like, I know NXT last week we were saying it's a lull a little bit, but like this is kind of
this is where they hit their stride.
This is exactly it. This is the waves of NXT, and you know they had a match I don't really care for, the $1 Million feud.
Yeah.
But like, you have to wrap that up too. So you have so many other things going on that you don't need to have your two big titles, the men's and women's, on TV.
Mm-hmm. I think, especially because Cross is traveling.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's going to be on TV leading up to this anyway.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was a stunt double. I don't even know if he was... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you could tell they didn't want him to work a match. He did...
Yeah, that was definitely... Vince was like, oh, yeah, he is not getting in the ring until that pay-per-view, and then he's out.
Yeah, he literally cut a one-sentence promo
and ran away.
Ran away.
Yeah, I think he's going to be off TV, air quoting, because I think he'll be around.
Right.
But he'll be off TV until the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's like a brawl that last Tuesday. But other than that, I think it's pretty much it from him.
Yeah. Talking about the big titles, for all of my fans here that don't watch NXT UK.
Oh, man.
How about that promo package?
So, I have never seen the first match.
And let me
I haven't watched it. I don't know a lot about Walter. I don't know a lot about UK at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm most excited for that match.
Look,
that promo was crazy.
Yeah. Walter versus Dragunov 1 was match of the year last year. And I don't say that lightly. Mm-hmm. If you didn't watch it, go on Peacock. It's the October 29, 2020 episode. Watch it. Do yourself a favor. It is match of the year, without a doubt. To me, me personally. Mm-hmm. This match, I honestly feel sorry for whoever has to follow.
Yeah, this is a shame.
They are going to tear the house down. It will be match of the night again. It may be match of the year again.
This is what we had talked about last week a little bit, where this kind of has to go on first.
That's what I said, but I don't know. Because, and this is not a slight, but so much of the audience does not watch NXT UK.
But I feel like it's a good way to get them in. You put it on first.
Agreed, but you could potentially lose viewers too.
I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I agree with that.
After the promo package, if you're a fan of wrestling, you're invested in that
100%.
match.
If you watch NXT to the point where you're going to watch TakeOver,
yeah,
you're probably invested in the match in some capacity. Even if you're a casual fan tuning in, I feel like if you're watching the pay-per-view all the way through, for the most part, you're not going to skip the first match. You might go do something in the middle at a match you don't like.
Match 2.
But I feel like if you throw them on first, even if you're like, I'll just watch it because it's on, you'll watch it. Like, it'll be on your TV. I feel like most people won't turn it off to go do something and come back.
And now on, like, a practical level, for the talent backstage, if I'm Cross and Joe, who is going to be the main event, I don't want to be anywhere near that match.
No. See, this
I don't want to be anywhere
NXT
near
has a
it.
very good problem to have right now.
Every match on the card is a potential match of the night candidate so far.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I can't say enough about Walter and Dragunov. That will be match of the night. But then you have Cross and Joe. That's going to be physical. It's going to be fun to watch.
Cole and O'Reilly,
which I'm sure will have an insane stipulation.
It'll have something.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be a regular
maybe a 2
match.
out of 3 falls or something. But they'll have a stipulation. Dakota and Raquel, maybe the least of which could be a match of the night.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. It'll just be so overshadowed.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I've concluded it. I know what's going to happen.
Okay.
If they open with Walter...
I think you're out of your mind if they put them on second.
No. If they open, $1 million title, second. Just cool off.
Here's the problem, though.
Cool down.
There's so much going on.
I don't even know if that makes TakeOver. Because you got MSK's
I don't think that's making TakeOver.
Yeah, they're not going to be on TakeOver.
I think Roddy and Kushida definitely will be.
Roddy and Kushida has to be.
So that's 6. You think they get one more in there? They sneak one more belt in there?
You're not going to have Johnny on it. No Johnny TakeOver on TakeOver.
No, probably not.
Unless
something happens real fast.
Loomis and Johnny again, or Theory and Johnny break up the way.
I think the way is already broken up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think Johnny See, that's another thing, though.
How do you
I
take over
wouldn't
without
want to
Johnny?
be anywhere near Johnny in theory either.
No, because
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that
and
match.
that's fantasy booking and like hypotheticals. It could end up that way.
If that happens, that might be the best NXT on paper, the best card of all time.
I think already, because you have Santos and Isaiah that are gonna be on the card.
I don't know. I'm holding off on that because I could see them doing some weird stuff.
Dude, I think that they need to make this a 2-night event.
Oh,
Scratch SummerSlam.
Just get rid of SummerSlam.
Just put
SummerSlam's going to be on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a 2-day NXT takeover.
Just let me get Roman and Cena to headline one of the nights, and then everybody else's NXT talent. Because I don't care about Raw at all.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting to see how they fill this card out.
Because if it's not Swerve and Santos on the card, what are they, the NXT before it?
NXT after, probably. I think that's actually perfect. NXT after.
Yeah.
Because you'll get the people that may have just watched TakeOver
and
then saw how good it was.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just watch NXT this week, and then you see another title match on.
And they'll deliver.
I think you do them, and I think you do MSK also.
Well, I don't even know who's next.
For what?
MSK.
Imperium. No, it is. It's Imperium.
Yeah, I guess, probably.
Yes, it definitely is. I know it's like not a great build-up, but it is Imperium.
I'm kind of interested to see what happens now with the 3 baddest men in NXT.
Yeah, that's another. I think eventually they'll get thrown at Legato, just because Legato seems to just be working their way around. But
you got Pete Dunne, Oney Larkin, and our guy Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland, what a monster Ridge is.
But like, you're telling me that now Walter's over here from UK, you can't see Imperium facing off with them?
I could, but I don't know if he's here the whole time. That's going to be the problem. That's going to be really what it comes down to. Does Walter stay in the States?
Right.
I don't know if he wants to, if he will. I don't know.
I think it depends. And look, I don't know. I say Walter's going to lose. I think it's time. And not that, I know anything. Mm-hmm. It's just been 700-something days.
It's been a long time.
But if he drops the title, why not stay? Why not get
probably a
started
nice little check.
Yeah.
And not even get started. He'll be
not
in the main event picture.
I don't mean get
but
started.
He'll be right there.
Why not stay? Why not be in NXT and just dominate over here?
Yeah, no, I like that. Because I don't watch UK. You know a little bit more than I do. Is there anything left for him?
No, he's beaten everybody and he's beaten them twice.
Oh, okay. So, he's really done over there.
It's actually Dragunov 2 is, I think, the last.
The last one. So that's probably where the title changes, most likely.
And, I mean, great guy to put it on, too. This guy can work.
Yeah, I gotta watch that match. Yeah, I gotta watch the first one.
That's everybody's homework.
Yeah,
October 29, 2020.
We're gonna do a single review. Well, that's the match. Go watch it.
That's it. That's your homework, dude. It's nuts.
Is there anything else we had from NXT? Or that was really it.
Index.
Tournament. Oh, we'll talk about the tournament.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's that guy's name? I have no idea.
Trey something.
Trey Lance had a match.
San Francisco 49ers quarterback
had a match. Well, I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
No, it was good, but dude, just feed him to Odyssey Jones.
Oh,
That's next man up. So
here's the thing, and I think that guy's pretty good.
He's good. Oh, it's Trey Baxter. There we go.
Trey Baxter.
Boom.
There it is.
Came to me. I knew it was Trey.
I think him and Odyssey will have a really good match, and I think Carmelo and Duke Hudson will have a really good match. So I think it'll be. I'm interested. Oh God, that's gonna be on the card.
That is gonna be on the card.
Oh crap!
Odyssey Jones gonna be on the card. That's gonna open the show. How
are they fitting this all in one card?
You can't put them after Walter.
This is gonna be 8 hours. Dude, no, they cannot be after Walter. You will bury the whole.
This might be a full-blown packed 4-hour takeover.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I totally forgot that was gonna be on the card.
The breakout tournament.
Do you put them on SummerSlam?
Odyssey, the breakout.
Do you put the breakout on some? I don't think you can.
I don't think you
have
can
a takeover. But jeez, I forgot that was going to be on the card.
I think if you're going to put anything on SummerSlam,
it's Cross. It has to be Cross.
No, I don't think you take the NXT title. I was going to say the UK title, but that's
No. That's not enough fan draw.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that would
But at least Cross would make sense.
Yeah,
because people will know him. Yeah, but yeah, I forgot that's going to be on that card.
But yeah, so Trey Baxter. He's good. That guy can wrestle, but
not winning.
I think the finals it's Odyssey Jones and Duke Hudson. I think that's it.
And this is what we had talked about previously, and we'll just reiterate it quickly. You don't need to win this tournament.
No, you don't need to win.
We know that with Carmelo. Carmelo's already went with Cole and Kushida. He's fine. He's gonna be a star. I think. I think he's really good. So yeah, I think that's probably their final two, and that'll be a real good physical match.
Yeah, and I think that bodes better for the finals is to have two guys similar sizes.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like I think Odyssey Jones wins.
I think so too.
I mean
they do really like Duke though.
Yeah, but if Duke lost to Carmelo, you don't want to make Carmelo look you don't want to make him look small next to Jones, but you also don't want to make Jones look weak by losing to a guy, small.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's a lose-lose. Like at least if Jones faces Duke, they're both big guys. It could go either way.
Yeah. Well, I do think like Carmelo could.
Well, maybe we're both wrong.
Carmelo could do a job too.
Yeah, but what if we're both wrong? What if Baxter wins?
Baxter and Carmelo, there it is.
Yeah.
Book it now.
Yeah. I mean, but this is true though because Eagleman lost week 1, and he's on NXT. He's wrestling.
There he is.
He's fighting Ridge Holland.
Who
they love. They love Ridge Holland.
They do love Ridge. So
that's a good match to have.
There you go.
So man, I don't know.
So Index.
Look,
good match, first of all.
Yeah, I mean,
Dexter Lumis probably has the best moveset in NXT. Maybe in WWE.
I think Dexter Lumis has the best full moveset in WWE.
He might.
I'm not even joking.
It's really, really good.
He's like all of the old school power moves, a Thesz press, a spine buster.
Can kip up, do some interesting new stuff.
And then his character is like interesting enough where he gets away with like weird shit in the ring too.
Yeah.
So I like him. I think he's good. You can always count on Johnny for a great match.
Oh, Johnny's great.
He'll always wrestle
real
well.
Good.
But I don't understand why Lumis lost unless this is to build the feud further. Because if Lumis quote unquote loses but then wins anyway, I don't know why you don't just let him have the big win.
And that's what's interesting too, is I feel like the win would boost the feud further than the loss did.
So yes and no. I think that the loss with Indy doing her own thing anyway, like totally disrespecting the way, throwing them, like not respecting the rules, whatever. I think that could be like furthering the feud. Maybe Johnny's disrespectful to Indy and then Lumis steps in.
Maybe.
Whatever. But if Lumis wins and Johnny loses, like the spoiled brat angle is what, like, you didn't deserve it, whatever. You ruined my family. You think that angle's better?
I think it's more that, like, now Johnny's losing everyone in the way.
But
First he lost Theory. Now he's losing Indy to Lumis because he couldn't get it done. But it's not just now. It's like you got it done, and she's still kind of
right. So I think that maybe this way, even if it doesn't further the feud, opens up Johnny to address the Theory problem because he's been gone.
That is true.
So like you handled Indy, you won, but then you lost anyway, right? She goes away. Now you have Theory who's going to come back like you never cared about me anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think they have options, which is good. But,
and I think
we'll see what happens. Theory
versus Johnny already is more interesting to me than a rematch of Lumis and Johnny.
Oh, 100%.
Mostly because
I feel like we've seen this a couple times too.
Yeah.
Maybe we haven't, but it feels like we've seen it.
It's just two guys around NXT so long.
That we probably like at some point they probably have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do with it. The lover or loser match stipulation is hilarious.
It's good.
Loved it.
Talking about stips.
Yeah.
Ready to break it out?
Get into our little top 10, more of a match type list.
Yeah, because...
So not like I know on the Instagram story we had our like stipulations.
But everyone started giving us feedback about kind of just match types.
Yeah, it kind of progressed in. They're kind of the same thing.
So we're going to go and we're going to focus more on match types and then, if there's anything that sticks out in particular, for instance, custody of Dominic ladder match.
The craziest stipulation of all time.
That's an honorable mention. Actually,
How did no one say the eye for an eye match?
Yeah, the eye for an eye with Seth.
What a weird thing that was, huh?
So those stipulations and stuff, those aren't going to be on the list.
Yeah.
But we're aware.
We know they are. We'll talk about them another time, maybe. And this is going to be just one unified list. We're not going to do
we're just doing one list.
I got flamed enough for my list the last time, so we're just going to do one list.
Yeah.
So let's move on with that.
It's no specific order. These are just our top 10 favorite stipulations. Mm-hmm. We'll start from the bottom, I guess. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
10 is an I Quit match.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of pretty classic I Quit matches. I know Cena, holy crap.
Yeah.
Batista and Cena had a pretty good one. The Roman and Jay one not that long ago. But it's a good stipulation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the I Quit match is always kind of like a real personal, like blood feud kind of match. Like I'm
Bayley and Bianca was supposed to be, right?
Didn't Bayley have one with somebody else? Oh no, it was supposed to be
Bianca, but she got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I Quit. It's just nice, man.
Yeah, it's a good one. Number 9, we have the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
Just a classic.
That's it.
Maybe the best idea they've ever had, other than maybe Money in the Bank. Shout out Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But probably the best, like,
and
unique net match
sure,
idea they've had.
it's the pay-per-view, but it's like that one time a year. It's WrestleMania season. Royal Rumble gets the juices flowing.
Yeah.
And even when you think you know, even when you think it's predictable, you got Roman going to win again. He loses at the last second.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, it starts the best season of wrestling.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's a way to, like, really just get feuds going. Because even just not the guy who wins, but building the feuds through the Rumble. You have so many people out there with the returns. Everyone counting down the clock. Just one of those things everyone gets excited for.
Definitely need the fan interaction, though.
Oh, I think the Rumble this year is going to be wild.
Electric with people back, for sure. We got Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, again, there's another classic one. Great matches. Kind of a Taker one.
It's unfortunately lost a little bit of its luster just from how frequently it's done now.
Yeah, and we'll get into that another day. We hinted at that a couple episodes ago about the gimmick pay-per-view names.
Yeah.
And about how terrible that is for the actual gimmick match itself. Hell in a Cell maybe being the worst one.
Right. Doesn't apply to Royal Rumble.
No.
But Hell in a Cell, especially when you're doing 3 on the same card, 5 in the weekend, it's too much. But that being said, there's been great ones throughout history.
And will continue to be great ones.
Yeah, there will be, Becky and Sasha.
Number 7.
Yeah.
War Games!
War Games!
Kind of a new one to WWE the last... I mean, I know it's a long time ago, but new to the modern WWE. Crazy matches, man. Just...
I mean, War Games is what propelled Raquel.
Yeah, that's what got her to the top of the mountain.
War Games got us Pat McAfee.
Got us Pat Mac, that's true.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the 2 rings is always a weird concept to see.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
It's just a fun match, I think. I think that's the best way. It's just fun.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Just unadulterated chaos.
And, for, some of these matches, like, it's cluttered. But for what it's worth, they make it work with 8 guys.
I think it's because of the 2 rings.
Yeah.
That is not cluttered.
Yeah. They make it work.
Yeah.
A classic. The Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
I mean, violence.
Yeah. It's a shame now that it's a little
played down.
And I understand,
you have to keep it PG.
Not even that, like, just that there's pads, and I understand, like, now that we care about the safety of human beings, like, I understand why.
People on chain.
But it was just so much. I feel like it was more exciting when it was just like real violence.
Yeah, and the plexiglass was, or at least,
it wasn't a square.
It wasn't a piece of glass.
People were flying through
piece of plastic. But
it's crazy.
I mean, Elimination Chamber. How many
to
great things?
The first ever cash in.
Yeah.
A lot of great stuff out of the Elimination Chamber.
And for me, like, you get some of your best moments out of Elimination Chamber, like people staying in the pods, like trying to fight it, getting speared through it, like classic moments, like real moments, like it's nuts. So I mean, the Elimination Chamber,
propelling Kofi to Kofi Mania,
a lot of
great moments.
That's it, Kofi Mania, man. Elimination
Chamber. Number 5 is the Buried Alive match.
Buried Alive.
Haven't seen one in a long time,
and probably won't again,
unless you kind of count the the Tombstone match. What did they have?
It was the
Graveyard Boneyard.
Yeah, with AJ Styles getting buried.
That was kind of a Buried Alive match, but it's more like a cinematic Buried Alive match.
Yeah,
I doubt we'll ever see one ever again.
It's not that era of wrestling anymore.
It will take a very specific feud to see that.
Yeah, especially with Undertaker gone, Bray Wyatt gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be something special if it happens at all.
Which ties us into number 4, which is a very similar one.
Inferno match.
Yeah, we saw...
like Kane and Undertaker.
Yep.
When we were looking it up, when we were talking about the Inferno match, they said that they counted The Fiend and Randy Orton. I don't know if I necessarily count that.
That was, again, like a cinematic Inferno.
It was like a part of the match. I don't think it was the point.
It was not the same as the old Inferno matches. Because I don't know how much you remember about the old Inferno matches, but how it worked was it was basically a 2-man battle royal with just fire on the outside, and you just threw someone into the fire.
Kane and Undertaker.
Yeah. So
I mean,
maybe the best match ever in terms of old video game matches to play with your friends. Such a good time. Played a lot of Inferno.
That's really good, and so is the Hell in a Cell when you just throw them through the top.
Just throw them through the top, throw them off the side, through the table.
Yeah.
Just out. The match wasn't allowed to end until someone went through the cage.
Yeah. Sticking on Undertaker, man, the casket match.
Another classic. I think, was that an exclusively Undertaker match? Has anybody else non-Taker had it?
No, I don't think so.
Match?
I think it's always Taker, right?
At least now that I can remember, I think it's pretty
every time
Taker.
Taker's sitting up out of the casket,
every single
choking
time.
out of the casket, dude.
The classic gif.
And like I said, I wasn't the biggest Undertaker guy, but you appreciate the work he did, and he brought so much to WWE. Like,
him and Mark Henry and Mania casket match. Cool.
That one with Shawn too, with Shawn Michaels, great. Casket match, man, it's fun.
It's fun. It's just,
and it's like. It's kind of silly, right? Like, oh, they close the casket, it's over, but like, it makes sense.
Yeah, you knock them. It's basically just it's kind of just like a last man standing.
Yeah,
at the end of the
exactly.
day. Just you knock them out enough to put them in a casket.
But like, you say it's basically a last man standing, but Extreme Rules is basically no DQ.
No, 100%. All of that stuff is kind of the same thing. Yeah. So, number 2, and this is a 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, number 2. There's 2 out of 3 falls. Which, if I was giving a list of my actual favorites in a specific order, this might be number 1.
I do love a good 2 out of 3 falls.
And, like, sure, most of the time it's predictable. Whoever gets the first one doesn't get the second one. It usually gets to 3. But I just like to see it, man. You get creative.
I think my favorite part of 2 out of 3 falls is the old 2 out of 3 falls, when it was the 3 stages of hell matches.
Oh, yeah, when it was 3 different matches.
Matches. You would have, like, a regular match and, like, a no DQ match, and then you'd have the stretcher match.
Yeah.
Which, now that looking at our list, I'm very upset we left off, because stretcher matches is probably my favorite match.
Dude, the stretcher is
I love
so
the stretcher
funny.
matches so much.
You gotta run them up the hill.
Because it makes it's so stupid.
Run them off the ramp.
But it's great.
Yeah.
Also, like, I know we talked about it, just to backtrack a little bit, they kind of still have casket matches. They just reskinned it as an ambulance match.
I was about to say that.
It's the same thing.
I was gonna say that actually. We're on the same wavelength. But
it's
funny.
the same concept.
Because exactly.
It's the same thing.
They just like
they
a no
PG'd
DQ or whatever.
That's what it was.
No DQs, Extreme Rules, blah blah blah. A casket match is an ambulance match.
Now instead of sending someone to death, we're sending them just to the hospital.
I just send them to the hospital. They'll be better. They'll be back next week.
They'll be okay.
Yeah, and then number 1.
The GOAT match.
A classic. Yeah. An Iron Man.
An Iron Man match. You don't see a whole lot of them anymore.
And you can't, because you don't have the talent.
The last one we saw was, NXT? Did the 4-man Iron Man?
Yeah, it was Finn, Cole,
Ciampa, and Johnny.
Yeah. And you need guys that can go.
Yeah.
And when they go, man. And sure, you get a couple rest holds in there, but...
You have to.
It's 60 minutes. I mean, even 30 minutes, 30
it's
to...
a long
They're
time.
going, man. And it's so fun. And honestly, you look at history of the great Iron Man matches. It's just like...
There's a lot of really good
ones.
It's
always talented guys.
Yep,
always.
Every single time. So, yeah. That's our 10 list.
That's our top 10 match types that WWE has to
offer. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Tell us your lists. Twitter.
Honorable mention. The Punjabi Prison.
Punjabi Prison match.
I have to mention it. I feel obligated to mention it because my online petition has been to get Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal inside of a Punjabi prison.
And then Drake Ali comes back again.
Yeah. To fight Veer and Shaky.
This is a weird one. Yeah. And this is like a stipulation thing we had talked about on like the Instagram. Do you remember, it wasn't a match, but do you remember when Great Khali and Triple H did an arm wrestling match onto shards of glass? Do you remember that?
Dude, WWE used to be ruthless.
It was so weird.
Ruthless.
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Man, that's it. I think that wraps it up for us.
Episode 4, guys.
Thanks for tuning in again.
Instagram and Twitter, resthold_pod. YouTube, Resthold Podcast, but need to search resthold_pod to find us. Same thing on Spotify.
Yep.
That's it.
And we'll be back next week, guys. Same time, same place.
See you guys in the next one.
Thanks. Peace.
Peace.